Hello, good people. This is Movies Retrospect, your favorite movies recaps channel. In this episode, I'm going to be explaining to you an American psychological horror film called The Cure for Wellness. Make sure you watch this interesting movie till the end. The main character in the film is Lockhart, a young man who is completely self-absorbed and only cares about his job. He has even left his mother in a nursing home because he sees her as a hindrance. At the start of the movie, Lockhart is summoned to a meeting with his company's executives and fellow board members. During the meeting, he reads an open letter from the CEO, Pembroke, who reveals that he is currently at a wellness spa in Switzerland and has no plans to return. Pembroke accuses the company of engaging in illegal and unethical financial practices and warns the board members not to contact him again. Lockhart is troubled by this letter and must navigate through its implications. Lockhart was given the task of bringing Pembroke back to New York by the members, who warned him that if he failed, he would be held responsible for the entire scandal. With no other option, Lockhart prepared for his journey and traveled to Spitzehat. Upon arrival, he was driven up a hill to the spa by a man named Rico, who struck up a conversation with him. Enrico expressed confusion about why wealthy individuals from all over the world came to this particular spa. Their conversation was interrupted by an angry villager named Shocks, who threw a drink at their car. Rico did not respond, indicating that this was a common occurrence in the area. He explained that the villagers had a negative history with the people who lived on the hill. 2 centuries ago, an aristocratic family owned the land and their last baron was obsessed with maintaining his bloodline's purity. After the church disapproved of his union, a man decided that only his sister was kind enough to carry his child. He renounced God and pleaded for Jesus to help him impregnate his sister. However, their forbidden love was discovered by the villagers and other barons on their wedding night. They attacked and burned the couple alive before leveling the entire castle. The castle was later rebuilt as a wellness spa for wealthy people seeking to cure their emptiness. Enos arrives at Lockhart, but discovers that visiting hours have ended. He makes an appointment with the manager and goes outside to make a call. While outside, he notices an eerie-looking basement window. After some time, after finally meeting the manager, Lockhart requests to speak with Pembroke. The manager, who is broke after taking vitamin droplets from a peculiar blue bottle, assures Lockhart that their treatments are highly effective in limiting exposure to the stresses of the modern world. He also reveals that the spas are built over an ancient aquifer that has rejuvenating qualities. While looking at pictures in the room, Lockhart notices a man with bandages all over his body posing in front of the main building. However, his attention is interrupted when the manager tells him to come back after 7 o'clock in the evening. Before leaving, Lockhart drinks a glass of water and thanks the manager for his cooperation. Unfortunately, on their way out of the hill, a deer suddenly comes out of the woods and strikes their car, causing it to get lodged in the windshield. Due to ensuing chaos, Rico struggles to control the car and ends up crashing into a ditch. 3 days later, Lockhart wakes up in a room at the same location. The director of FUMA, Emmett, informs Lockhart that he broke his leg in the accident and has already notified his firm. Volma asks Lockhart to try out the spa's treatments during his stay. While drinking water, Lockhart sees a man covering the window to the basement and discovers a parasitic creature floating in his glass. He sneaks out of the room and finds Pembroke in the bathhouse, asking him to come home with him. However, Pembroke claims he is unwell and takes a dip in the water instead. Lockhart regains interest in the stock market and agrees to return to New York to lead his company. As he waits for a taxi, he meets Toria Watkins, an amateur historian who shows him the remains of a church where a priest was apparently executed. Lockhart tells her about the baron's obsession with bloodline purity and promises to look into it further. He then meets Hannah, the youngest patient at the institution, who is allowed to take vitamins from a blue bottle that other staff members take later. When Pembroke doesn't show up and goes missing from his room, Lockhart confronts Dr. Volma, who accuses Pembroke of lying about his condition deteriorating due to treatment. Lockhart's nose starts bleeding and he collapses on Dr. Volma's desk. Volma tells Lockhart that she feels a special connection to him because she went through a traumatic experience when she was young. Lockhart reads her medical report and agrees to undergo treatment, but is hesitant about the arrogant American doctor who will be treating him. While distracted, Lockhart steals Pembroke's medical file and discovers that he underwent treatment in a water tank. Lockhart tries the same treatment, but the tank suddenly fills up with eels and he panics. He almost drowns until the manager saves him. Lockhart complains about the eels, but they have mysteriously disappeared. Lockhart returns to his room and checks Pembroke's file. While looking out the window, he sees a man taking a patient into an old church the next morning. Historian Fred Watkins joins Lockhart to unlock some tasks about the church, but she is unaware of its current use. Watkins confirms that Barrett and his sister had an affair, but the villagers did not burn down their home for that reason. It turns out that the Baron was conducting sick and gruesome medical experiments on farmers, leaving disfigured human bodies in their fields. The villagers feared for their safety and killed the royal couple brutally. Suddenly, a male nurse appears and takes Watkins away for treatment. Lockhart continues to explore until he sees Hannah riding her bike, giving him an idea. He asked Anna to give him a tour of the town and offered her a ballerina toy in return. Anna, who seemed to have a childlike mind, agreed without hesitation. They had a great time exploring and eventually stopped at a local tavern called Delight for some food. To their surprise, they found Enrico there, the driver who survived the car crash they were in earlier. Upon returning to his room, Lockhart discovers a moment of clarity while going through Watkins' notes. He stumbles upon a portrait taken after the fire and breaks it open, revealing a man with bandages holding hands with a little girl who turns out to be Hannah. It is revealed that Volma is actually Barrett and Hannah is his daughter. Volma had somehow survived the fire and lived for 2 centuries by assuming different identities while continuing his experiments in the guise of running a wellness spa. He extracted vitamins from innocent people's digestive systems and consumed them to remain immortal, even giving some to Hannah, which explains why she considers herself special in the next scene. Volma takes Hannah to a room with bad intentions, but Lockhart arrives just in time to stop him. This angers Volma, who reveals his scarred face and attacks Lockhart. In the chaos, Lockhart sets the room on fire and the fire spreads throughout the castle. Volma tries to finish off Lockhart by dragging him towards an eel pool, but Hannah realizes that her father is a monster and comes to Lockhart's aid. She hits Volma with a shovel and he falls into the pool. The patients and staff escape as the castle burns down. In the dead of night, 2 individuals steal a bike and ride down the road. They unexpectedly encounter Lockhart's superiors who have arrived to investigate. The movie concludes with Lockhart and his sister Granette continuing their journey on the bike into the night. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and like to support the channel. See you in the next episode.